Okay, so I don't think this book is really for my conservative sisters. Um, Actually, no, that's probably who it's absolutely for. I feel like I have something on my glasses. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your sister Ashante, and yes, we are back. Yes, it is a new year. It is a new decade. Welcome to 2020, sis. I can't believe it. When I was a little girl, I thought 2020 we'd be living like the Jeffersons. We'd be floating to school. I'd have a dog that could float. I have a robot Rosie that did all my work. We're getting there. I mean, we have Alexa. I'm really happy to be in 2020. We are leaving a lot of things in 2019 that should have stayed in 2019, like inconsistency. And with that, we are leaving questions like, girl, where you been? Or why you ain't put up no videos? We're not doing none of that. We are leaving that in 2019. Thanks. Okay, so we are starting off with a book slash lesson plan that kind of spurred from the book. I fell in love with this book. The lighting is making my glasses a little bit darker, and I'm sorry. I'm one of those old ladies that has the tinting that happens. Whatever. Anyway, I found this book at my local library just by chance, and I fell in love with it. So I've been telling everybody about it, which includes you, sis. So this book is called, oh, the sun, there we go. You Don't Know Everything, Jilly P. And if my nails look ratchet, it's because they are. Some things came to 2020. Anyway, so You Don't Know Everything, Jilly P is by an author named Alex Gino. We will get more into that, but let's talk a little bit more about the book, or talk a little bit about the book in general, because we haven't. So this book is about a young lady who lives in California. She is, 11, 10, I can't remember. She's a younger girl, and she's an only child with two parents that seem incredible. They seem really funny. Like, even the author goes so far as to say they do the kind of kisses that embarrass her, but everybody else is like, oh, I love that. Anyway, she is in love with this book series that kind of reminds me like of a Harry Potter or Twilight. And in this book series, there's a web chat room where people under a certain age can go to talk about the book. And that's where a lot of the conversation goes on, is in this web chat room between the kids. Besides that, let's stay there. In the web chat room, there are obviously a lot of different characters, but there's one very special character who becomes pivotal to the book, and that is the character right here. This gentleman, I'm sorry guys about the lighting. This gentleman right here, that transition is tough. Sorry, y'all. So his name in the web chat room is Profound in Oaktown, and as you can see, he does have the hearing aid in, and he was born deaf. So Jilly's life kind of changes when her mom and dad, who we meet mom pregnant, they birth the child, another little girl, and this little girl doesn't pass the hearing test at the hospital, and we come to find out that she's deaf. And so Jilly and this young man began to bond kind of off of that. Supporting characters in this book are Jilly's, y'all, I don't know what my dog is doing back there. Miss Rebecca, please stop that. Thank you. We'll see how long she does. Anyway, supporting characters in this book are Jilly's aunt. Jilly's aunt is her dad's sister, obviously. Dad's sister, her name is Joanne. Joanne married a woman named Alicia. Alicia is a black woman. Joanne is a white woman. Alicia has two children from a previous marriage. And it's pretty funny because there's a little like adult humor sprinkled in there for those of us who read the book. And Alicia goes, that was the biggest mistake of my life, but it produced the two biggest blessings. And I just cracked up because we're moving on. So there are a lot of things just already that I've spoke about that you may be saying, ooh, that's why in the beginning I was saying it may not be for our super conservative sisters, because there's more. besides just talking about gay relations, I mean, and she doesn't talk about gay relations, but she puts it out in the table. They are in California. The ladies are legally married. She puts it out there. She talks pretty openly about privilege, about white privilege, and not just about white privilege. She talks about privilege of those of us who can hear versus those of us who can't. She talks about just the differences in situations. To paint a picture, she has where there's a young man in Philadelphia who happens to be a black young man, is killed by police officers. And when when they find out the information, she's with her Aunt Alicia. And Aunt Alicia is just saying how she's scared for her two young children. And Jilly says how bad she feels because she thought more about her friend Profound than her two cousins. And she says when she tries to talk to her mother and father about it, they kind of shut down. And there's an amazing part in the book where she texts Aunt Alicia after she tries to talk to her parents, and the response that she gets is powerful. So this book is very progressive. Like I said, I love it. I have had it from my library now for 3 months. I probably own it at this point in time. We did use this for our lesson plan. Like I said, we took every chapter and did questions from it. Some of the questions were a bit harder. How do you feel about gay marriage? How do you feel about interracial marriage? How did you feel when character blah 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 died? Some of them were easier. They have this system that one of her best friends uses to talk, and it's kind of like how we can use JK and LOL. Well, you know, these kids, they use that in real life, and this child goes far with it. I mean, she's like GAHAY, and I'm like, what in the is that? So it'll be questions like, what do you think GAHAY means? Now there is like a little glossary in the back, but these kids are so hip and cool, and I guess I'm just so not. My daughter was like, it's good, and how are you? I was like, what you need the book for? You know what I'm saying? So it is a wonderful, wonderful book. The author's name is Alex Gino. So I learned a lot in looking up the author. The author is non-binary. Let me make sure I'm saying that right because I don't want to mess it up. Blah, 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 blah. I'm pretty sure that's right. And they refer to themselves, even though it's a singular person, they refer to themselves in the plural. They, their. And it's because they don't identify as one or the other. This is something I didn't know about before. So Alex, when I went to go look them up, they had a lot of funny pictures, so obviously they don't take themselves too seriously. And Wikipedia says that the author is now driving around the country living in their RV. And I'm like, I could do that life, Alex. I'm with you. So that was the author. How I transitioned this to be a complete lesson plan. In the book, Alicia is one of the millions of residents of California who drive a Volvo, but her Volvo is different because in it she has a caged bird, a fake canary, and she calls it Maya, and she says that it reminds her that we all have a song to sing. Wonderful introduction into the woman, the legend, the greatest to have done it, Miss Maya Angelou. So what I did was got a couple books again from the library that I probably own at this point in my life. The first one was Rise. Oh, I'm sorry, that sound is coming in. There we go. Rise. And it says From Caged Bird to Poet of the People, Maya Angelou. And it basically breaks down a lot of her life. It is kid friendly in the wording choices that it has there. And the pictures, it goes through her being sent to stamps. It talks about her issues as a child as far as being sexually abused and the man who did it being killed, but it doesn't say it in those words. It's very vague in the way that it says it, so it's more kid friendly. You can read this to someone who's elementary and they won't be as affected as this other book. With that, of course, we had to read I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I found this book at the library, Maya Angelou, and it literally just has a book of her poems, and I loved it. We talked about what the caged bird stands for, why it sings even though it's caged. And we went through and read Still I Rise, my favorite poem ever. Oh, I just love that poem. Anyway, and then the literature work for that one was we create a poem. We create a poem that speaks on things but not directly. So we were able to use that for language arts. We also watched a YouTube video about Miss Maya Angelou. There were bunches of them. There is one that we watched where Maya Angelou is with Elmo and two little kids, and she's singing, and I love her voice so much, but she's singing about why she loves her name, and these kids kind of jump in on why they love their name. We watched one where these two puppets told about the life of Maya Angelou, and read a book about her, so that was really cool too. So far you're at $0 for this lesson plan, sis. $0. I then went on google.com and found a very small, I want to say a very small lesson plan about Maya Angelou again. There we go. And what it came up with, which was nice, I didn't have to make it up, was like these questions that you just go through. You gonna do it for me? Yes! And it even had a little bit of writing down things that she did first, which was great. So that was how we came in with a author study, how we came in with language arts. And then we took it a little bit further because Maya Angelou has lived in so many different places, not just in the US, but abroad. And one of those places that she lived was Ghana. Ghana is extremely special, especially to people of color in this nation. I mean, pretty much people of color in any nation. And 2019 marked the year of return. So Ghana saw a lot of people from the diaspora come back home. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get there. But we were able to use this as geography. We learned, where is Ghana? What is Ghana known for? What does Ghana export? What does Ghana import? What are its biggest attractions? What is the food like? We are working now on trying to make some jollof, which y'all pray for me because I have no clue what I'm doing, but it brings that culture in. And so from this one book, we got some liberal standpoints that we were able to discuss. See, and there went the sun. I feel like right now, you know that song, ain't no sunshine when she's gone, boom, boom, boom. It's something darkness every day, boom. Man, that song is so depressing and good. Either way, we got all those things off of this one book: geography, language arts, some writing, some critical thinking, and some creative writing in there. And this lesson plan cost a total of $0.00. It was completely free, except for the fines I'm gonna have to pay to my local library because, like I said, I've owned these books. I really need to do better. But you know, you don't have to print these things out. I wouldn't tell anybody this, but I used my work to print them out. I'm not saying that you do that, but I'm not saying that you don't do that. That's that. I hope you guys like this video. If you plan to use this lesson plan, or if you are thinking or have questions about it, please let me know below. If you do use it, if you do read the book, let me know what you think. This is a book that as a little girl, I kind of wish I would have read, and I bet money they are not reading in your regular public schools. All right, guys, have a blessed and prosperous day. Don't forget to like this video before you, can you even see that? It's like light and day. You see that? Bye, guys. Have a great day.